Hi, everyone. Welcome to Soothing Sundays. I'll wait and see who wants to come in for Soothing Sundays. And if you're new here, Soothing Sundays is just a live stream. I answer your questions. I always present a few topics that people ask me throughout the week, but we always start with a nervous system regulation technique. So we'll do that. And excuse me, this Sunday, we're going to do another Silva method technique. I actually slightly went over it, but we're going to go deep into it. It's called the 3-2-1 method, and it drops you into that alpha state. That alpha state of consciousness is where you can heal and create things, bring into your life whatever you want, manifest whatever you want. So, and the Silva method is really good for getting your mind and nervous system into an alpha state. So that is what we're going to do in a second. Here, let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and then we'll get started. And then we're going to, I got some questions about some other stuff that we're going to go over that I'm excited to answer. And I'm also looking forward to hearing about whatever your questions are, your wins for the week. If you've been here for a while and you're implementing the techniques that I've been sharing with you guys, let me know how those are going for you. So we're going to start with the Silva method, 3-2-1 method. So if you do any other Silva method technique or any other technique in general, this is great to do before you're going on a meeting or going into like a meeting or a presentation, anything where you just want to be in that alpha state of mind. If you're going to manifest something, even before you go into meditation, this is always a great way to just like prep your mind, and it gets you into that alpha state. So I'm actually just going to walk you through the 3-2-1 method. So what you're going to do is start to breathe deeply, and you're going to get just in a comfortable position. You can do this while you're walking, and you can do this anywhere, but when you're first starting, it's nice to be in a comfortable position where you can close your eyes. And so with your eyes closed, take a deep breath, and you're going to keep breathing deeply and inhaling and exhaling really slow, as slow as you can. And with this 3-2-1 method, we're going to start by repeating the number 3 in our mind. We're going to see it like flash 3 times in your mind, in the center of your mind. And you could also see it like a movie, like 3, 2, but it's just going to flash the 3 times. So you're going to start with that number 3. You're seeing the number 3 times as you're breathing deeply. And then you're going to take another deep breath, keep exhaling in and out. And that's really just all you're focusing on. Okay. And this is the level of relaxation in the Silva method in the 3-2-1. So the 3 is the level of physical relaxation. So what you're going to do is start with your scalp and just feel your scalp relax. And then you're going to feel your head relaxed. Again, your eyes are closed. You're going to feel your forehead relaxed. You're going to feel all the muscles in your face relax. And you're going to feel your jaw relax and your shoulders relax as you're continuing to breathe deeply, and you're going deeper into the state of physical relaxation. This is level 3 of relaxation. And then you're going to feel your chest and your stomach and your hips and your legs. So your thighs and your calves and your feet are all relaxed. And you're completely in the level 3 state of relaxation. As you're continuing to breathe deeply, everything's relaxed. And now we're going to enter level 2. So in level 2, you're going to start by seeing the number 2 flash in front of your mental screen. So your eyes are still closed and you're seeing the number 2 flash 3 times. And now you're in the mental state of relaxation, so which is deeper than level 3. So we went from level 3, physical relaxation, and now we're in level 2, level of relaxation, which is mental relaxation. And here you're going to imagine that you're immersed in a scene that is very relaxing to you. So that could be by a lake, that could be by a pool, whatever is relaxing to you. You could be somewhere sipping some tea with some music in the background, whatever it is, something that is very relaxing to you, and you are immersed in all the sounds, everything. And in this mental state of relaxation, we're at level 2, which is deeper than level 3. When you're in this state of relaxation, nothing bothers you, nothing takes you out of your focus and your relaxed state. Every noise, every sound, every sensation only relaxes you deeper. So everything when you are in level 2 state of consciousness, everything only relaxes you deeper into that state. And you're gonna keep breathing. So just do that for a second. And you're breathing. And now we're gonna enter level 1 level of consciousness. So this is a 3-2-1 Silva method. We went from level 3, and then we went to level 3, which is the physical relaxation, and then level 2 is the mental relaxation, and now we're in level 1, which is the deepest level of relaxation. And so you're here, go ahead and see the number 1 flash in your mental screen 3 times. So you see the number 1 and the number 1 and the number 1. And now you're at the deepest level of relaxation, which is level 1. And then here in level 1, you know that you can do whatever you choose. Now that your mind and body are relaxed, you can do and have and receive whatever you choose. So knowing that you are in complete control of your mind and that whatever you want to have, you can have at this level of consciousness. Whatever you want to be, do, or have, you can have at this level of consciousness. And so you could visualize what it is, like how you want your day to go. You can go into a mental movie from here and know that whatever it is that would bring you the most joy, the most peace, the most love, the most support, you are now in a state of reception because we say that we like things or we say that we want this or that, but we're not in a receptive state. Now in this level 1, this deepest state of consciousness, you are in a receptive state where you can get whatever you desire, mentally, emotionally, financially, physically, health-wise. You are in a state that is completely receptive to get only the best things that bring you the most joy, prosperity, love, support, whatever it is. And so just breathe into that and receive that. See yourself receiving that. And breathing deeply even more. Okay, and then from here, if your eyes are closed, you can open them and you're going to stay in that level of consciousness. Now you're in that alpha state. So with this 3-2-1 method, it brought you into that alpha state of awareness and consciousness. So, our brain is operating on different brain waves all the time. And, when we're stressed, we're in a certain one, and we want to be in an alpha state. That's what the Silva method does. So when we're in an alpha state, we're very streamlined, we're very focused, we're very aware, but we're not letting the ego mind, the inner critic get in the way. We're just focused on that we're opening up the subconscious level of mind where we can receive what we want. So where the inner critic isn't taking over and blocking, us from whatever we want and creating or perpetuating negative patterns. So that's the difference. We're just taking control of the conscious and subconscious mind. So that is the Silva method, the 3-2-1 method. That is what I would like you guys. This is the neurological reprogramming technique for the week. So implement that and let me know how it goes. I want to hear back from you guys and let me know how it goes. But it really and the more you do it, it will take less and less time to the point where people that are long-time practitioners of the Silva method, they just go 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, and then boom, they're there. But you want to do it a little bit slower, just how I walked you through it. And then, you could even, if you listen to the Silva method, the book, it goes way slower. Just like it focuses on like every part of the body. It goes like, so you really understand, but just know that as time goes by and as you keep practicing, you can drop into that alpha state a lot quicker. But practice that this week and let me know how it goes. Hi, you guys. Go ahead and drop your questions if you have anything. Related to mental health, relationships, narcissists, toxic personalities that you want answered, and psychology. And so the next question I got was about, okay, so I got a question, and I get this a lot in different ways, but it's like, I am about to lose hope. I am about to lose all hope. It's never going to work out for me. And just kind of like a spiral meltdown type of crash out type of thing. And here's the thing about like crashing out. It's not always bad. Like Emotions are energy in motion. What we don't wanna do is stuff them and numb them because they will literally, like I say, like your brain is not only here, it goes down your brainstem, which is your spine, into your nervous system. So if we don't process our emotions, they will show up as injury or disease or just some kind of ache or pain until we deal with them. So we want to keep that energy moving. So when you're in a place where I'm like, I am about to lose all hope, recognize that for what it is. And it's not always a bad thing. It's actually an opportunity to surrender, if you could think about it, because sometimes our ego mind and our inner critic is like, you're not doing enough. It's never going to happen. That keeping you in this fear state. And that part of your brain only knows fear. And it's just trying to keep you safe, but it doesn't know that, if you could let it go and like surrender and trust and be in another level of consciousness, it will come in easier. That it only knows fear and it only knows the past. So when we're in that, we're like believing that lie a little bit too much. There's an opportunity to release that. And so when you are in this state, please know that the breakthrough is about to happen. When you are like, I can't, it's been this way for too long, the breakthrough is about to happen, especially if you can redirect your energy. I know it's tempting, but if you could just redirect your energy to what is the version of you that already has that? And actually, let's back up a little bit. So you're in the state of like, I'm losing hope. Okay, fine. And it's been this way in the past. The past doesn't exist anymore. Can you drop that version just for a second? Just for fun. Just for fun. Let's drop that version of you where you've lost hope, and just if you had whatever it is that you want, whatever it is that you want to be, whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is that you want to have, how would your body feel? Just think about how your body would feel if you had those things. Just entertain that thought and let your body feel that right now. How would your body feel? And then how would you feel emotionally? And then how would you feel, or what would you be thinking about on a psychological level, like mentally? What would you be thinking about? But start with how your body would feel. Why? Because that is your nervous system. And if we could connect with our nervous system and recalibrate our nervous system, then the emotions can fall into place and then the thoughts fall into place. The thing is, like a lot of these manifesting coaches, they're like, okay, think about how you would feel and think about what you be. No, you have to go to how your body would feel. Because your body, like when you have an emotion, your body does this when you're anxious, but when you're relaxed, what does that mean? It means that you have an emotion. So do you see how those things are tied together? But if you can get your body in that physical state, because we are, anchored in our body, in that physical state, then the emotions will follow. And a lot of times when we're upset, we try to escape the body. And we don't even, sometimes we know it, sometimes we know, but like through some type of distraction, food, drugs, alcohol, too much TV, whatever it is. And so if you can anchor in the body, then you'll stop wanting to numb out and be like, oh, because my life sucks. I mean, and you could actually even numb out with sadness or an emotion like anger or, crying, anything like that. So if you could anchor into like, how would my body feel? And then what emotions would be running through me if I had this thing? And then what thoughts would I have? You see how you want to work from that angle? So we do that. And then you are that person. So you become that person, you become that version of yourself. And what I mean by that is that when you're in a state of like, oh, I'm losing hope, that is one version of yourself. That's a version of yourself you're leaving behind. But don't argue with that person. Don't try to convince that person, oh, become this person and you are wealthy and then you are loved. Just have empathy for that version of yourself, but like put them down and then step into the version of yourself that has the health that they want, that has all the things. How does that person move through the world? Become and align with that version of you. That version of you exists. You wouldn't want the things that you want if that version of you didn't exist. You just get to align with it. So I need you to fully align with it and become that version of yourself until it completely gels with you. There's a good book called alter ego, it's called Alter Ego, and it was written by the sports psychologist who works with like really famous athletes and performers. And he's like, who you are in your regular life, fine, but when you are on stage, when you're on the field, whatever, you need to become this other person. And he talks about Beyonce and how Beyonce was Sasha Fierce because she's like painfully shy, and then she was able to eventually let go of Sasha Fierce because it integrated. It finally like she's like, I'm Beyonce and I'm Sasha Fierce. They're not these two separate people. So the more you practice aligning with the version of yourself that you want to be, and we're different versions of ourselves in different circumstances, but the more you align with it, it's kind of like, oh, that was a distant memory when I didn't have that health or that job that I wanted or that relationship that I wanted. And now I'm just in this really amazing, peaceful place. So if you can do that, that will get you where you want to go. And also know that you are not your emotions and you're definitely not your past. You can decide, and this is how powerful you are, but we forget how powerful we are, that you are no longer available to repeat the past. You can literally, right now, in this moment, decide, even if it's been going on for decades, whatever it is, okay, I no longer have relationships like that anymore. Now my relationships are this way. Now my health is this way in any area of your life. And and especially with relationships, you have work relationships, you have family, you have friends, you have romantic. So it's kind of like, okay, maybe in the past this is what happened to me and I had this pattern and now it's this. I'm just dropping the old story. Like your mind is that powerful and you are that powerful where you can literally just drop the old story. This is why Neville Goddard says live in the end. When he said live in the end, he meant like just drop the old story and live from the outcome that you want. Like just everything that I just went over is completely aligning with who you want to be. Don't argue with the person that from 2 hours ago, from a year ago that was struggling, and okay, that version of you is done. And you don't have to have any shame or guilt or whatever or wallow in it because they were keeping the past alive. Just drop it and just only focus on give life and energy to the outcome that you want. Live in the end. Create the outcome that you want by living in the outcome that you want. Living in the end is what Neville Goddard calls it. And I'm just seeing what else I wrote in this DM. Yeah, so the new version of yourself is vibrating, and the version of yourself that has and is doing whatever it is that you want and that you've been manifesting is literally vibrating and functioning at a different level of consciousness. And what I mean by that is where it's not even a thought in your mind that you don't get what you want, or it's not a thought in your mind that you don't have X amount of money in your bank account and that you don't have this loving relationship. It's just of course it's that way. That is how I live my life. Those are my bare minimum standards. That's why in the last live stream and a lot of times I talk about write down your standards, guys, in every area of your life: health, wealth, relationships, career, your spirituality / relationship with God, universe, whatever you call it. What are your standards? How do you expect people to show up for you? How do you expect to show up for yourself in every area of your life? Because we default to our standards. And so this version of yourself that's operating at a different level of consciousness has certain standards that it's just like, yeah, like I would never let this have, it's just, I always have this, and it's just a no-brainer. So we want to raise our standards, and that allows you to operate at a different level of consciousness. Let me see. I'm just looking at what else I wrote in this DM. Yeah, and again, the old version of yourself only knows certain things. So we don't like, someone that's just stuck in the past or they're stuck in their ways and it's like there's no point in arguing with them. You have that within yourself. Like there's the old version of yourself that's committed to this old story of like things never work out for me. I always get cheated on, or people always take advantage of my kindness or whatever. Well, are we going to keep that story alive? And I had that story like, oh yeah, people just take advantage of my kindness. Well, then I'm just going to keep repeating that story. Now my new one is like, I have great boundaries. My friends, everyone, clients, students, all respect my boundaries, and my life is very fulfilling, like all of those things. So you keep alive what you give energy to, what your story is. So at any given moment, you can decide that was my old story and this is my new story. And it really is that simple. If you can just release it. This is why I've recommended the book Letting Go because it shows you how to quickly let go of old stories and old patterns and all of the emotions, because you really need to detach from all those emotions that are linked to that story. It's the emotions that are anchoring that story in place, which is why the exercise that we went over in the beginning is so good. Because if you don't have any emotions attached to that, then it doesn't mean anything. Like if I am like, oh my God, I'm a loser and all this stuff, and I'm really like invested in that story, and that all the emotions attached to that are going to mean something. But if someone's like, oh, you're a loser, and I'm like, oh, that doesn't resonate with me, I know I'm not. Like there's no emotion there. So there's nothing that like emotions keep things alive, and they give things a lot of energy. So if you can operate from that place, and that's why I'm saying like feel it in your body, then the emotions attached to it is going to make a big difference. But please, if you're seeing this and you are feeling like I am about to lose hope, like first of all, you're seeing this because just to know that everything is about to fall into place for you and everything is going to get better, and that your mind is so powerful that all you have to do is drop the old story and redirect your attention, immerse all of your attention and the feelings in your body and your emotions on the outcome that you want. How does that feel in your body? What emotions are attached to that? Then what thoughts do you have? Then what does it look like? But if you could start at that nervous system level and float up from there and just really, really focus on that. And I mean, yes, close your eyes and meditate on it. And then I want you to walk around and, driving, any spare moment, you could talk out loud. When I walk my students through this and my clients, I'm like, if you're in your car, by yourself, just be like, oh my God, I'm so glad everything goes this way now. And it feels so nice. And you know what I mean? Always again and again and again. Yes, this is live. Hello, you're on a live stream. Nice to meet you. Test. Hi, Peter. Let's see what Peter says. You have a win, Peter. I feel at least now me moving forward doesn't rely or based on others. I feel more present, and that my choices today is based on my core beliefs. Good. Hopefully those core beliefs are positive core beliefs towards yourself. If they turn out to be wrong, I will learn and improve. Yes. And so thank you for sharing your win with us, Peter. And like what I'm hearing is like your sense of worth isn't based on other people's opinions, and you're not letting other people manipulate and control you with their version of reality or how they want you to behave or show up for them. And I know a little bit more about Peter because he's been here sharing with us. So it sounds like that your core beliefs are shifting to something that's more positive and that's going to help like serve you in a healthy way. And that you're making decisions that aren't based in fear. We want to move out of a fear state. We want to move from fear to love, because fear is where we can be manipulated and controlled. It's very low vibrational energy. And then when we're in a loving, accepting, peaceful state, everything just falls into place. We really don't have to do much. You just have to love ourselves, love our inner children, and everything, you're just inspired. Everything feels light and flowy. So that's where we want to be. Good job, Peter. And thank you so much for sharing. Test. Amazing. Please continue. I didn't mean to stop. Oh, you didn't stop my flow. Welcome, Test. If you have any questions about mental health, relationships, narcissists, toxic relationships, psychology, I am here to answer your questions. Quantum physics. Well, I actually just start like talking about quantum physics. It just comes up because it's so related to psychology. And in the last live stream, I wanted to go over the supernova thing because I couldn't remember the name for what Carl Jung calls the Sophia stage, because the supernova thing, it's actually not a real, I don't pay a lot of attention to it because it's something that a self-described narcissist like made up, and he's very into being a narcissist, and he talks about this supernova stage, which is really like, it's just when I think it could be for anyone, because he says it's for empaths that like just lose their shit basically. But I don't think so. When this happens to, and it does, it's like I call it an exploding doormat sometimes. So sometimes someone's just like puts up with a lot, hoping that it will get better, and then it doesn't. And then they explode and then they want to get revenge. That's like the super, like how it's described. And I was talking more about the Sophia stage and like my experience with that if you want to go and like last the live stream on Thursday. But you do have this point of like where you're done. You're done. And if you are really in what that guy describes as a supernova stage, you're even hooked to the narcissist more if you're worried about revenge or you're hyper focused on them. And that is a stage of healing where you're just so angry and want revenge. And I'm not putting that down. I'm just saying that you want to quickly move out of that because we don't want to be linked to any type of toxicity. And so what I was talking about is the Sophia stage of consciousness where you get to your breaking point and then you detach in this way where you have a sense of peace that's so deep that you've never experienced before. But right before that, it's like all this stuff just purges out of your mind and nervous system, and it can be very uncomfortable. And then when you come out of that, you're in this, what Carl Jung calls the Sophia stage of consciousness, where you're like untouchable. And he came across, this is how he discovered it, is because he came across so many people that had been in like the deepest state of narcissistic abuse, like just had been through so much narcissistic abuse. And he's like, how? And he noticed that they were like women that had this go on when they were in the Sophia stage. And they're like, he's like, you're not even traumatized. They were. And then they got past it to the Sophia stage where they just entered this level of consciousness of like profound wisdom. And they were so detached, like they were just observing these people in pain, the narcissist, the sociopath, or whatever. And that's where, Sophia means wisdom. That's where it comes from, or that's why he named it that. And they were just able to observe, but they were just like completely immune to any type of manipulation. They couldn't be supply. They couldn't be. And when this happens to you, if you're any type of empath on any level, like when this starts to happen to you, people just slough out of your life. Like I have been through this phase a couple of times. It came in waves for me. And like people, I mean, it's just like, they just like bounced out of my energy field. It's like, and I'm like, why did that happen? Especially like when, dating and all that stuff. I'm like, oh, why did that? And I'm like, oh, because it's like the narcissist can sense that I wasn't available to be supply anymore. And this is even before I started creating all this content around narcissists. Now it's kind of like, oh, never mind. I saw your Instagram or, YouTube, which is makes me laugh. But yeah, you don't energetically attract that toxicity anymore. And as someone that, is on, and even though I feel like I am at like a Sophia stage level, like there's still layers to go deeper. There always is. But that's why a lot of my messaging is like, okay, if you've attracted these dynamics, it's okay to have a point where you feel like a victim. I felt very victimized. I felt very wronged and taken advantage of and all those things. But then let's move into where we look at ourselves so we never attract that again. And we look at ourselves so we can literally be channels and like expand our ability to receive what we want, need, and deserve. Because I don't want you to just be in the state where you're attracting toxicity. I want you to be in the state where you're attracting all of these things that you actually want, that state of reception. Hello. I comment to make you angry. Okay, Peter's question is, does the Silva method help redirect in real time when you sense you might get into old patterns or habits? So yeah, I talked about that in the beginning, is that just like any other tool or technique, is that you practice these things and everything's happening in real time, by the way. There's only the present moment, right? So, but you practice these things, and just like any other skill, it gets easier and easier and you can drop into it faster. So yes, the answer is yes. But when you notice, you can just like go into like, okay, I'm going to do it now. When you're first getting started, you're doing something new. You're developing a new skill, so it'll take a little bit longer. But people, including me, but all other people I know that practice the Silva method, for instance, this 3-2-1 method I'm talking about, it's literally like your brain associates the flashing of the 3, the flashing of the 2, and the 1 of dropping into that alpha state. So it gets easier. Just keep practicing. It is weird. There is the tug of war between habit versus breaking a habit. I'm better I'm better from before. I mean, yeah, we're always breaking we wanna I always talk about this on all my content, is that we're constantly evolving. We constantly want to do better. We will constantly want to be like whatever in every area of your life. We don't want to flatline or plateau because that just means there's no real such thing as plateauing. We're either evolving in some type of way or we're declining. And so my point of like any video, anything that you watch of me, I just want you to leave better. If it makes you laugh, if it makes you think about something, if it's incorporating a new neurological reprogramming tool, that is what I want for you. So we're always getting better. So you're either strengthening old patterns and habits that are keeping you stuck, or you're strengthening and creating new neural pathways. So we want to create new neural pathways. We want to learn these tools. So we have this big toolbox of things to use, and then we become unfuckable with whatever that word is, like where you're in the Sophia stage. You're not able to be fucked with. Mike says, "What's up, LC? Hi, happy early birthday." Thank you, Mike. What are your thoughts on the work of I like Bradley Nelson, emotional release through muscle testing. I love his work, and some people are like, "That's weird," but like again, um, you hold things in your body. You hold beliefs, you hold trauma, you hold all of these things, and a lot of these things can happen on a level, like if you've read his book, like sometimes pre-verbal. So you can heal things that before you learned how to speak that were just in your nervous system because of the environment that you were in, whatever. All of those things can be released from your body. I really like it's called the emotional freedom. What does Bradley Nelson call it? I forget. And I have his book and like that book. And sometimes I'll be like, oh, do I have a stuck emotion? And I'll go in and do it. I'm trying to remember the name of his book. And when I first read his book, I listened to it on audio. And then I think it's like, but EFT therapy is typically known as like tapping. I'm trying to remember what his book is called. The Heart Code. Is it the Heart Code? I'm looking it up right now. Or the Heart Code is his new book, it looks like. It's called the Emotion Code. The Emotion Code. So anyway, Bradley Nelson, I love his work. That's an excellent question, Mike. And so he you'll see, like, if you read his stuff, like when he first got a download basically about the technique, he was using magnets because we are electromagnetic fields. And then he just realized that you can just use your fingers to do like, and you're going over meridian points, that are from like Chinese medicine. And then you're allowing a technique to be released. And so, and again, like it's so very similar in a lot of ways to Letting Go by David R. Hawkins, because people are talking about the same thing. They're just presenting it a little bit differently. So basic emotion code. Thank you. And so in Emotion Code and then in Letting Go, 2 different books by 2 different authors, they're literally they're not trying, they're showing you how to do the same thing, letting go of old emotions and old patterns that are just stuck in your nervous system and in your body so you can get whatever you want and have whatever you want and release old patterns. So I love Bradley Nelson. And like you can even if you're like making a decision about something, I do this one. It's kind of like, okay, my name is Lauren and it's strong. My name's Rebecca, it's not. So should I do this? Should I live stream on Thursday? That's a yes. Should I live stream on Wednesday? That's, you know what I mean? So just like you could do it about anything, but yeah, I definitely would look into that one if you're open to it. Some people are like, oh, I'm not doing that. Like I've had friends that I'm like, oh my God, I just found this. I remember when I first found Bradley Nelson and they were like, that's weird. And I'm like, whatever, you NPC. I'm just kidding. Or am I? Hi, James. Hi, Lauren. I believe I'm in the Sophia stage with Yay! I love hearing that. I love hearing that you're in the Sophia stage with your ex. The Sophia stage is a very powerful place to be. That is the most dangerous person to a narcissist or any of these personality disorders when you're truly in the Sophia stage. And I really felt like for me, I wasn't comfortable doing this work and creating my course or anything until I was personally in the Sophia stage. There are plenty of people in these streets that are still like in toxic relationships and then like I don't know what they're doing, giving advice, like the wizard Liz, like she literally was, you know, preaching and giving all this advice, and millions of people apparently, follow her. And then, she's in this toxic relationship with this very sick person that just showed a lot of borderline and sociopathic whatever. And she's still giving advice like she's, so I and good, whatever, like attracts like. So she has her people. All I'm saying is this like I wasn't willing to do that, and I really and I don't even know if that's good or bad because whatever, we're all on our healing journey. I just felt, like, very responsible, like, for any clients or students I had, and I feel like I needed to and I didn't even know the Sophia stage existed until I went through it, and I'm like, "Okay, I have enough of an aerial view where I can do this and help other people," because I'm also very empathic, so when someone's in the depths of despair, client or a friend, I get like, I feel everything. So I had to, for me, and the level of like the depth of work that I do, it was important for me to be in the Sophia stage. But it's the most liberating place to be. And again, you don't want freedom. I'm sorry, you don't want to be happy. Of course, you want to be happy, but it's not the end goal. What you really want is freedom. And then under that is that sense of peace and happiness sometimes. Like everything is in a flow state. But when you have that freedom, like you do in the Sophia stage, it's very powerful. Mike says, "It seems like a good tool to use for proper decision making." Exactly. It is, especially if it's like something that you're not sure about. But also, I also think that the emotion code is wonderful for helping you understand or helping you realize, I should say, subconscious and unconscious emotions that you have that you don't know are there that are holding you back. Like you would never be like, "Oh, it's connected." And sometimes it's like, "Oh, it's connected to feeling whatever." Like he has all the emotions in there. I'm trying to like one of the emotions is crying. Like, really? Well, somewhere in your body you need to cry about something. And so when you release that, you might not cry, but you're releasing that stuck energy. That's all it is moving out the gunk, the energetic gunk. So, yes, it's great for decision making, and it's also really great for releasing old emotions and patterns that you just don't need anymore that are holding you back. So, next time when I live stream, which will be Thursday, because I do Soothing Sundays, and then I do one during the week, either on Wednesday or Thursday. So this week it'll be Thursday, and we'll do some emotion code stuff. I'll go over it. I'll give like a little synopsis of emotion code because I think it could be very helpful. Peter says, if processed correctly, would people look at past trauma as unlearning certain beliefs that didn't serve you? If processed correctly, would people look at past trauma as unlearning? Yeah, I mean, it is an unlearning. Like, if you process a past trauma, I mean, processing and like, I like to think of it as releasing it because when I don't know, the word processed, people have very different definitions of processed. So when when I work with people and I say processed, it's for you to understand a different perspective, for you to not feel victimized, for you to not feel overly responsible, for you to not feel like whatever core belief got instilled, like I'm unlovable, I'm unsafe, or whatever. So we're changing the perspective, we're reframing it to get rid of that core belief that it created. That's how I process things. I don't just sit around and talk about stuff. I do feel like some therapists will keep you in therapy and just talk about the same shit. So what I do is I reframe the story that was created around whatever the trauma was. And then, yes, you're unlearning beliefs that don't, we're always unlearning and like really releasing, right? Like that's all the neurological reprogramming that I do. We're releasing things and like really just letting them die by neglect. We're not giving them energy anymore. We're not giving past stories. We're not giving past beliefs. We're not giving any of those things energy anymore. They're not true anymore. You can just decide they're not true anymore. Okay. Fun fact, I spent time around a person who I now recognize to be a narcissist. My energy was shot for the rest of the day. It's cool that I now recognize that as a result. But woo, but ew, how do I avoid that? Why is this thing like blocking? Um, so how do you avoid that? Well, first of all, Mike, that's excellent awareness. So maybe in the past you would have entertained that or hung around that person for a long time, but you recognize, whoa, this person's draining my energy. No more. Do you see how like you cut that off like really quickly? So give yourself some credit for that. Um, but how do you, well, you kind of did avoid it because you're not letting it happen again. But the only thing I would say is that there's two things. You could just identify as someone like my boundaries are so strong that even my energetic boundaries, people that are energy vampires, which all narcissists are, people because they just drain, they only take. People that are only takers, I don't have anything to do with them. Every relationship in my life is reciprocal. Every relationship I have in my life is reciprocal. So, and you're saying that and you're identifying with that because when I tell people to change their belief systems or do an affirmation, I don't include anything in there that is about something that they don't want. So I wouldn't say I don't attract narcissists because you're thinking about narcissists and energy vampires. So I would say I only have people, places, and things in my life that also give me energy and also give me life. That's one thing that you could do so it like never happens again or to avoid that. And like I just say I'm allergic to that. I'm allergic to low vibe bullshit. I don't hang with it. I don't deal with it. It's just ew, it's beneath me. I don't eat out of the trash and I also don't hang out with trash. Like it's just it's something I would never do. Like that level. Like we were talking about in the beginning of like changing your self-concept around like, well, of course that's not part of my reality because I'm like this. And so I only attract this and I only have those people in my life. And so that's really good, Mike. It's just like a little bit of a refinement, which is a great place to be when you're just like tweaking these things and refining these things. So I would say that there's an opportunity to shift your self-concept into like, I only hang out with amazing people that are doing amazing things in their life and that are psychologically and emotionally healthy. And that immediately will get rid of narcissists and draining people. I comment to make you angry. You now recognize to be a narc. No. People say narc as a short definition for narcissist. Mike, so can I predetermine that those people don't show up in my life? I mean, yeah, listen, this is how powerful your mind is. If you say, I only attract people that are like this into my life, that's what you can create in your life. Your mind is so powerful that whatever you decide and whatever you give energy to, you will get in your life. So, again, if you are doing that, I would only say exactly what you want. So, again, and you could do this for anything, but let's take this example. I only attract healthy, psychologically healthy, emotionally healthy people that give me life because I give people life. So people only give me life too. That's the only type of people that I attract into my life. And you could do this for anything. Like if at your job, I only attract like well-paying customers. I only attract whatever it is. You're not giving energy to anything else. So don't say like, I don't attract cheap clients and customers. Don't say that. Say only what you want. So I attract well-paying, high-paying clients and customers that love paying for my services. I only attract healthy people that are life-giving and are really good friends that give me life, and there's a mutual reciprocity. So, yeah, it's like predetermined, yeah, or it's just like you're just consciously creating your reality. We're always creating things based on our core beliefs, but if you can be really conscious about it, that's where the magic happens. That's where we can upgrade and that's where we can shift. It's very exciting stuff, I must say. That's for all the questions I got in my DMs for the week that I wanted to go over. I think I wrote them down. But yeah, that's Sophia, like the supernova stage isn't like a real thing, but we do get to like that breaking point that should lead, and there could be an intermittent time of like wanting revenge or wanting the worst for them. Like let your nervous system flush all of that out. I would definitely tend to your inner children because they're just feeling very like hurt and like, why did you let that happen to me type of thing. And that's okay to feel that way. A lot of my clients come in with a lot of guilt and shame of like, why did I do that to myself? And why did I put up with that? And like, you were doing the best you could at that time. That version of you was desperate for the love bombing to come back, for that idealization phase to come back where you felt so seen and loved by someone that didn't exist. That's what you wanted, and that's okay. So we can still, you get to change your core belief to someone that gets to have those things. Because if you're attracting your narcissist that's love bombing you, somewhere in you, like you really desperately want that, but feel like unworthy of it because someone told you at some point that you were unworthy of love. So we can just release that so you can really get all of that love and support and amazing treatment that you want that's actually real. Um, let's see. Mike says, "That's exciting. Thanks for the insight. You're a blessing." Oh, thank you. You are welcome. And it is exciting. It's so exciting to know that your mind is that powerful. It's so exciting to know that you actually can create whatever you want in your life. And it's exciting to know that you don't need to be um, manipulated and controlled by fear. Like, again, I always talk about there are systems in place. The drug industry, the media, the politicians, all these people, they want to manipulate and control you through fear. And so if you know how powerful your mind is, that starts to, all of those things just start to go away, you know? I mean, they used to, before anesthesia was invented to, for surgery and everything, they used to hypnotize people to give people eye surgeries, without anesthesia. So like there's so many things that, I don't know, I've just been like deleted from history, or that I feel like the systems in place, I'll just refer to as that, don't want you to know about. So you feel powerless and that you need some outside thing to get whatever. And it's a really tempting place to be. But if you know, like, according to quantum theory, and Carl Jung talks about this, like all these different people talk about it in a different way. But let's talk about quantum theory. Whatever you want already exists on some plane of consciousness. So in order to bring it into this reality, what's called manifesting a lot of times is just to align with it. What Neville Goddard calls living in the end. What that means is just feel in your body and in your emotions and in your thoughts, and then think your thoughts of what it's like to be there, and it will drop right in. And sometimes we have to keep focusing on that, so we're giving more life to that and starving the old thing that we don't want anymore. And that's another thing that you guys can do this week, is completely live in the end. Okay? And I think, especially if you have Sunday scaries, which Soothing Sundays is the antidote to the Sunday scaries. So we're here on Soothing Sundays to recalibrate your brain. So how do you want, like, just think about it, visualize it. How do you want the rest of this evening to go? The best case scenario, if for you, when you wake up tomorrow, just imagine, just allow yourself to suspend all whatever you think is reality. When you wake up tomorrow on Monday, what is the best case scenario. What does that look like? What does that feel like? What are you doing? But start with how it feels in your body, within the emotions, and then what you're doing. How does all that play out? What's going on for you? Because your mind is that powerful. It will start to create it. And they've done studies on this with cancer, people that have had cancer versus people that haven't. So they took people that were supposedly genetically predisposed to cancer and people that just worried about it all the time. And the people that got cancer were actually the people that worried about it more than people that were supposedly genetically predisposed to it. So that is how powerful your mind is. And you've like, you could do this with like anything. Like, think about if you were like on a beach right now and the sun was beaming down on you, I bet you'll start to get warm. Like, your body will start to get warm. And it's the same thing if you think about something that you don't want, you cringe. So your mind is very powerful. You can summon like fucking Thor. You can summon in what you want. Okay? Please know that. And please go to bed tonight knowing how powerful your mind is and that you're constantly creating what you want. And like literally things can change so much faster. I know that there are people who are like, God's timing, blah, blah, blah. Well, if God is running through you, if you are a part of God and God consciousness is flowing through you, I'm pretty sure that means you could have whatever you want now. And I understand like God's timing, and I'm not trying to take that away, but I also know that if it's in your heart to have it, that God wants you to have it, and you could drop into your reality immediately. That's all I'm saying. Peter says, love your energy, love the energy plus motion, energy and motion. Yes, emotions are energy in motion. That's all they are. We hook onto them and then we over-identify with them. And we think that we're our emotions. I'm sad. I'm this. No, you have sadness running through you. Let it go. Just like anything. Use the emotion code method. Use the letting go method. Even the good ones. Okay, like we can't just like try to stay happy forever. That's how people get addicted to certain things, and they're trying to numb out certain. Let the emotions flow through you. Everything is perfectly running. Just let it flow through you. Me being an engineer makes so much sense on either. I gave the plus V. Okay, so if you're engineer, Peter, look at the Silva method, because Jose Silva was an engineer. So I think you'll really connect with Jose Silva's work. Again, it's called the Silva Method for Mind Control. I know it sounds a little weird, but just for when his audience, like I think he wrote that in the 50s, and it just whatever, it was the vibe then. But he was an engineer, and that's what he was just like, okay, there are these different like brain waves, and there's theta and alpha, and like if we can tune them, like I mean, he just started he had like a spiritual awakening. He was like, there's these different frequencies, but he was an engineer, so I think you'd really connect with his work. Jordan, hey, I need some mental health advice. What's up, Jordan? Here to help. I comment to agree. I feel like I just gave my age away. Maybe you did. I don't know. No, but like the people say narcissist, people say narc as a short way to say narcissist. Yes way, Jose. I'll check it out. Yeah, check it out, Peter, and let me know. I think you'll connect with it. And again, like with the Silva method and his books, yes, buy them. But I really like having the audio because the audio books, because in the alpha, to get your brainwave in the alpha state, he plays this little, you're going to be like, what the hell is that? But it's a sound that gets your brain into the alpha state as he's walking you through the exercises. So it's really helpful. You'll see what I'm talking about, but it sounds like this constant like tapping, but it's an alpha brainwave frequency as they're doing the exercises. So highly recommend. I think you'll like it. His book is entitled, yes, it's entitled The Silva Method. And there's different ones. We get the one by Jose Silva, start with that. And, some people have, like, invented these courses, and I've actually taken one. Don't take any of the courses. Like, just read the books and listen to the books. That is my opinion. That's all I'll say about that. Um, and I would tell you if I was like, "Oh my god, there's a course that I think is really good." I think that you should create courses if you have a unique perspective, if they're helpful. Um, but that's my opinion. But the books are very good. And I think that there's some stuff on YouTube too that walk you through it. But the best is the audiobooks, in my opinion. But yeah, anyway, that's all I have for you guys on this evening's Soothing Sunday. Um, Thanks, Lauren, as always. Advanced happy birthday. Thank you. Reminder for the red wig on Thursday this week. Maybe, maybe. It takes a while to put on. I don't know, to put on properly. Maybe I'll put it on. It's like made with real human hair. It's like an ordeal. It's not just like a costume wig. But I'm kind of making excuses. But I do want to bust my red wig out. I want to film some content with it. It is busy though, because just people in town for my birthday and or wanting to. But I'll think about it. I'm going to think about it. The red wig. No excuses. I know that's what I would say to you. I'm making excuses. So, but yeah, I didn't think it'd be appropriate for Soothing Sundays, but maybe on Thursday. Okay, that'll be my birthday live stream, and we'll have fun. Okay, well, if you have any other questions that you want me to answer in the next live stream, you could ask me on Instagram or TikTok, and all my stuff is in my bio, in the bio. And Jordan, you said you wanted to ask me something, but I'm not hearing from you. So if you want to ask me later, feel free. James, well, thanks for your time and energy. Of course, James. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And thank you. I'm so happy for you. Thank you for celebrating or sharing that win with us about like being at the Sophia stage with your ex, because that's such a wonderful place to be. Peter, any big plans for your birthday? Wish you could share. I'm just hanging out with different groups of friends for my birthday and going out to dinner and yeah. That's all, and I'm excited about it. It'll be fun. A wish you can share? I wish I could share so I think your birthday is like your personal new year, and my whole goal and intention is just to help as many people as I can in different ways, like live streaming my courses. Like when you work individually, I have a private practice, but it's like finite. And I love my clients and I love every course student I have that takes my courses, but I just want to help more people. And so, yeah, that will be my wish, like making more YouTube videos, live streaming as much as I can. That's my intention for this personal new year of mine. Think about where you want to go to dinner while you're at it. Okay, I will. Let's see, Peter. We'll have a fun one. I will. Thank you so much. You guys are so nice. I wish I loved people that much. Oh, well, there's an opportunity to love people that much. Like we can love people. I think it helps when, sometimes there's different things we need to release and then you could love people that much. I do. I do love helping people. I do love everything about the transformation process and watching you guys transform. That's why I love when you guys celebrate your wins with me. Yay. And but I also love answering your questions, and I hope it leads to my intention is for it to lead to more transformation. All right, you guys, have a beautiful Sunday. I just don't have a lot of space for too many people, I guess is more accurate. You don't need a space for a lot of people. Your energy is precious. Cast blast. Your energy is precious, so you don't have to give it to a lot of people. You share your energy with people that give you life, where there's reciprocity and where it's not exhausting. We don't do energy vampires up in here or people that just drain your energy. We were talking about that a little bit earlier. And the more you have a boundary around that, and that's your standard, that I only allow people, places, things, the food I eat, the media I consume, all these things give me life in some type of way. Yeah. So I would only make space for people that deserve your energy. That's what I would say about that. That's what I do. So I wouldn't judge yourself for that. All right, guys, sweet dreams tonight and have a beautiful week. Practice the 3-2-1 method and let me know how it goes. And I will see you guys Thursday. It might be a little bit earlier because I have to go to dinner after that, but I'll let you guys know. Thanks for subbing. Okay, and I'll see you guys soon. Also, if there's anything that you want me to make a video about, let me know because it'll inspire me to start making more like long form content on here because right now it's just mostly short videos. Okay, I will see you guys soon. I'll see you guys here. I'll see you guys on social media and love you guys. Mwah.